there and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Angie and I'm a chemist who loves makeup. Today we're going to be talking about a massive recall from Procter and Gamble in which they pulled a bunch of their hair care products. We're going to break down why they recalled these products, how this could have happened, my thoughts on their recall, and the actions I think Procter and Gamble can take to rectify the situation. Before we get into learning about this recall, I would like to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with a ton of classes. Skillshare can help you make 2022 a year of learning, growth, and connection through creativity. Have a specific skill that you're trying to learn? Skillshare is the perfect place to start. From embroidery to gardening to art to organizing, you will find a class that match your goals and interests. One focus I want to have in 2022 is improving my content and the quality of my videos, and Skillshare makes it really easy because there's so many courses at every level on these kind of topics. One course I just finished is called DIY Filming and Editing, how to create cinematic beauty videos, and this is actually by a YouTube friend of mine, Shirin Navi. She did a wonderful job of explaining on how she creates these beauty videos from conception to editing, and I'm really excited to take what I learned in her class and apply it to my videos. One great feature of Skillshare is they don't have ads, so you can continue to remain focused on learning, and there's always new premium classes so you can continue developing your skills. And the first 1,000 of people to use the link in my description are going to get a free month trial to Skillshare. Thank you again to Skillshare, and we're going to get back to talking about the recall. The products that got recalled from Procter and Gamble are all dry shampoos and dry conditioners, in addition to some previously recalled products from Old Spice and hair food. Through the FDA, they did put out an announcement about the products that got recalled and why they got recalled. The reason that they state in this company announcement on why they recalled the products is because some of these products were found to contain the compound benzene. Most likely this was probably discovered because a third party tested for benzene, or that Procter & Gamble pulled some random products for testing and it was found to contain benzene. Benzene is a compound. This is what it looks like. Based on its structure, it's actually highly reactive and it is harmful because it is considered a carcinogen. In the announcement, they said based on exposure modeling and a cancer risk assessment published by the EPA, that this product is not expected to cause harm to people who have used this product. And there also have not been any adverse reactions reported by consumers. That being said, benzene is one of those compounds that if it's in a product at all, it's going to get recalled. We saw the same thing with the sunscreens a while back. For drug production, it's actually considered a class 1 residual solvent by the FDA. A residual solvent is something that is used to produce something that is left over, and you either have to remove it or there are acceptable levels of that residual solvent. In the case of benzene, it's a class 1, so it's recommended to not use benzene at all in the production of your drug products. If it's absolutely unavoidable, the limit they give is 2 ppm left over, which is a very small amount. So based on that, it's understandable why the product got pulled if there was any amount detected in the product. So then the next concern is, how did benzene get into this product? So it's not intentionally added as an ingredient to cosmetics. It would be considered a contaminant. One way is that it can be used in the production of a raw material or the product. As we mentioned earlier, that is most likely not the case because the risk of it being in there doesn't really seem worth it for a cosmetic product. Potentially, it can be the byproduct of an ingredient. When you're making specific ingredients and these reactions happen, sometimes you don't get 100% yield of whatever you were intending. Sometimes there are other compounds that are yielded through these reactions unintentionally. Another way is that your ingredient or raw material, I'm probably going to use ingredient and raw material interchangeably. Raw material is just the industry term that people use. So when you're sourcing this raw material, if it comes from like a natural source, there's other compounds in there that you don't want. For instance, let's think of talc and asbestos. Often where you find talc, you find asbestos. So that is the potential contaminant to talc because they are found in such close proximity to each other. Another option could be degradation, but this is more of a long-term issue. This means that over time, ingredients are breaking down and they're forming other compounds. This happens a lot in drug products. I don't think that's very likely here. I can't think of a reaction that something degrades into benzene. I don't think that's very likely in this case, but I did want to share that option with you anyway. If none of these are it, This is very concerning because we don't know where this came from. Although I am not confident in which of these methods occurred, we do know what ingredient it was from. Procter and Gamble claimed it was the propellant that was the source of this benzene. A propellant is what aids in dispensing the product from the can. That is why it was all dry shampoos and dry conditioners that needed these propellants that were recalled. There are two that I have seen amongst the recalled products, which are propane and isobutane. I did find a few as I was looking through the ingredients in the recalled products that contain isobutane but not propane. So I'm going to make the assumption that it was probably the isobutane that was the source, but it could be coming from both. So we can assume it was either during the production or the sourcing of this raw material that the contamination came from. The reason why they may have not known it was there is if it wasn't known to be a common contaminant of isobutane. When these companies are buying these raw materials from their suppliers, you get what is called a certificate of analysis, or shortened to C of A. This certificate contains testing results for this specific lot of the raw material. They do this for each lot of different things. Some are appearance, so how it looks, the color, the purity of the ingredient, and also for known contaminants. Now, when I say known contaminants, these raw materials aren't going to test for everything under the sun. They test for things that are known to be contamination issues. For instance, in talc, it would be asbestos. For glycerin, it would be things like diethylene glycol. You wouldn't test glycerin for asbestos because it's not known to be a common contaminant of glycerin. So I tried to find a certificate of analysis for isobutane. I did find one for propane and N-butane as well. It was very limited. I didn't really find a lot. But the one that I found actually tested for a lot of different compounds but didn't test for benzene. And then I found another company that claimed that their isobutane was benzene-free, but this was used for analytical purposes. So I can't really say for sure if this is a known contaminant or not. I'm assuming probably not, because it should have been tested for unless the supplier had faulty results or something of that nature. And isobutane is found in a lot of these type of dry conditioner, dry shampoo type of products. I looked at Sephora and I looked at the ingredients of the first 5 on the search results, and most of them contained isobutane. I think like 3 out of the 5 of them did. So this is a very commonly used ingredient in these types of products. So based on the findings from this isobutane and benzene relationship, Procter and Gamble can take action in a couple of ways in order to bring this product back on the market. Oftentimes, when you have big parent companies like this, such as Procter and Gamble, they're going to source the same ingredient from one supplier. So every brand underneath them is going to use the same isobutane. This is done for a few reasons. One is the quantity, because you're going to get a better deal if they buy so much of it from these suppliers. One thing is also when you're vetting these suppliers, it's only vetting one supplier as opposed to having to vet 5 different suppliers, which takes a lot of time. And also when they're developing these products, sometimes raw materials from different suppliers are going to incorporate differently into your product. It's easier for the people who are developing these products if they've already worked with that ingredient from that same supplier. If we see this product come back on the market and it has the same ingredients, they most likely just switch suppliers, or this supplier is now testing for benzene and making sure that it doesn't contain benzene. But another option is to remove the isobutane altogether. You have propane, you have N-butane. There's different other propellants that can be used that might not be a source of this benzene contamination. Changing ingredients like this may also affect the performance of the product. So we'll have to see. Because we know now that the propellant ingredients are the issue of this product, I have a feeling all these other brands that use these same propellants are probably going to be sending their products off to get tested for benzene as well. That also doesn't seem to be a huge issue. Based on what I was looking into how benzene is tested, it seems to use instrumentation that's not uncommon in a lot of labs, so hopefully it's not really that difficult to test. And typically after these recalls is when a lot of panic occurs. Should I not use Procter and Gamble? Should I not use dry shampoo and conditioner? And should I not use the ones that have isobutane? For me personally, based on the information I've been provided, this doesn't turn me off to Procter and Gamble products, because this is something that they might have not known could be a contaminant. I don't have enough information that would sway me towards not using Procter and Gamble products. I'm still going to continue to use my dry shampoo products that I have because A, they were not recalled, and I don't have enough information to say that this ingredient itself is a major issue. It could just be the supplier that they had. If more of these products start to get recalled, if specifically ones that contain isobutane are recalled, at that point I would then reevaluate whether or not I was going to use this product. So if you learned something in this video today, please give this video a thumbs up. And feel free to share any other cosmetic industry news stories with me that you want me to talk about. You can do that on Instagram at Angie Burgs or on Twitter at Angie_Burgs. And if you haven't subscribed, you should do that now. The button is right there. Just do it. And with that, I will see you in my next video.